This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Good evening at 11 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins, bringing you the news from my home as RTV6 practices social distancing.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. We know there have been many announcements and orders over the last few weeks when it comes to easing coronavirus restrictions in central Indiana. We start tonight with the first steps to reopen the economy in Marion County. Parts of Phase 2 are in effect as of today. That means public gatherings, including religious services, can include up to 25 people. Non-essential retail stores can reopen at 50% capacity, and Indianapolis public library branches can offer curbside pickup. Starting May 22nd, 1 week from today, restaurants will be allowed to open outdoor seating with strict social distancing guidelines. Health leaders in Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett say indoor dining salons and other personal service businesses and non-essential manufacturing are targeted to open on June 1st. Again, this is for Marion County only.
Stage 3 of the state's reopening plan that applies to most counties in Indiana, not including Marion, is set to start on Sunday, May 24th. In that phase, gyms, playgrounds, tennis courts, and theaters will be able to operate at half capacity. Stage 2 of the statewide plan has been in effect for about 2 weeks. So that means restaurant dining rooms can be open at half capacity. Hair salons, barber shops, nail salons, spas, and tattoo parlors can be open by appointment only, and operators must follow social distancing guidelines. Most retail businesses can operate at 50% capacity, including inside malls. Common areas like food courts, so they can operate at 25% capacity.
And now to the forecast. We'll see some spotty storms over the weekend. Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts joins us now, helping you prepare. Kyle.
Yeah, and Amanda, you can see that the active weather tonight is really closer and south of the Ohio River. Quiet scan on Storm Team 6 radar. Still have the clouds. We had a spectacular sunset out there this evening. Hopefully you got a chance to enjoy that. Temperatures are still mild. We're mostly sitting in the 60s. The exception, Crawfordsville at 59, but it is 65 degrees in downtown. By tomorrow morning, we are going to have a dry start to the weekend here with partly sunny skies. Those temperatures right around 60 degrees will already be into the middle 60s by 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's a dry start, but it may not be a dry finish. On Saturday, 30% chance for some rain in the forecast. Looks like it's a little more likely heading into our Sunday. Closer look at that in just a few minutes. Mark.
Kyle, we'll see you soon. Thank you. Now to the latest on how the COVID-19 pandemic is impacting the health of Hoosiers. The State Department of Health says the number of people hospitalized with the virus has dropped from 170 on April 1st to 71 on May 12th. But the number of confirmed deaths from COVID continues to go up. 1,550 people have died in Indiana. More than 26,000 have tested positive, and more than 165,000 have been tested altogether. You're encouraged to get tested for COVID-19 if you have symptoms, if you've been exposed to the virus, or if you are in a high-risk category. The state-sponsored testing sites are free. You can register by going to this website. It's lhi.care/COVID testing, or by calling this number. It's 888-634-1116.
3 Central Indiana nurses are also COVID-19 survivors. Not only are they back on the job, they're giving back in other ways too.
I mean, it was scary. I was definitely anxious.
It's really awful. People say it's like the flu, but it's like 1,000 times worse than the flu.
RTV6 talked to Emily Kornprost, Cassie Avery, and Jude Schelt today as they donated plasma. All 3 work in the St. Franciscan Health Emergency Room unit. Contact tracing found that at least one of them caught the virus from a patient. After living through the painful experience of COVID-19 themselves, the women say they are donating in hopes of easing someone else's pain.
My worst symptom was my body aches in my lower back and my legs, to the point where I was on the floor nearly in tears for about 2 days.
We don't have treatments. We don't have a vaccine yet. This is all we have that's helping. So if I can do anything to help at all, then it's not just something I can do, it's something I should do.
Antibodies from the donated plasma may help ease symptoms in critically ill patients.
Concerns are growing over an inflammatory syndrome in children that could be linked to COVID-19. On Wednesday at 11 o'clock, we shared with you that children across the country are winding up in the hospital with the mysterious condition. Now the Centers for Disease Control has issued a health advisory calling on doctors to look out for cases. Symptoms include persistent fever, rash, abdominal pain, vomiting, and swelling of the hands and feet. Leaders with the daycare center Early Learning Indiana say they are already taking steps to protect children from the coronavirus. They say the biggest thing everyone can do is constantly monitor kids' conditions.
That will be the key piece, is making sure that we're monitoring children throughout the day and making sure that we stay aware of anything that changes, and then letting families know.
Doctors at Riley Hospital for Children say they have not yet seen any cases of this inflammatory syndrome. It's believed to be rare, but like with COVID-19 in general, there are many unknowns.
Indiana casino workers concerned about their health and safety on the job are making their voices heard. They caravaned to the State House this afternoon demanding safe working conditions. The Indiana Gaming Commission says casinos are not expected to reopen until after the beginning of Phase 4 of the governor's plan. That starts on June 14th. Some workers are worried because gambling involves touching money, slot machines, cards, as well as crowded tables and communal areas. They're also concerned about what happens if they do get sick.
We are doing a caravan action to call on the Indiana Gaming Commission and Governor Holcomb to, when we return to work in mid-June, to guarantee health care for casino workers who are asked to go back to work, and also to adhere to the guidelines set forth by the public health officials, not the companies, in order to ensure guest safety and worker safety.
Casinos must submit reopening plans to the State Gaming Commission for approval.
The Rebound Indiana is sharing options to help small business owners get through economic crises caused by the pandemic. The Hamilton County Stabilization Fund is offering grants to small businesses that were forced to close during the stay-at-home order. Paul Braun owns Purse Strings in Clay Terrace in the Fashion Mall. The store sells fashion accessories. They reopened on May 4th, but it will be a long road for making up for 6 weeks of lost revenue while still having to pay bills. That's why local grants and loans are so important.
As we're reopening, I'm getting messages from some of my vendors that they're wanting to get paid, and for some of the stuff that I don't quite own yet. Some of them will sell us stuff on terms, and so they're wanting that. The mall is wanting rent as well when we're closed. So those are things that we're dealing with, that if you don't have the money to do it, you can't pay it. So that's why I reopened as soon as I could, to start getting things paid.
The grant money for the Stabilization Fund comes from the Hamilton County Government Fund. The deadline to apply is next Friday. Money will be awarded no later than June 9th.
A group of extreme couponers are using their saving skills to help fellow Hoosiers in need. Christina Huffines knows what it's like to rely on food pantries to get by. After finding out firsthand that you cannot get things like laundry soap and toilet paper at most pantries, she started clipping coupons for those items. Not long after that, she became inspired to help other families and founded Dotted Line Divas 5 years ago. The group buys items in bulk using coupons and gives them away at a special pantry.
I started helping others with like goodie bags of different items and letting them come to my house to get items. And then we went from there. And every family gets toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, men, women, and kids, shampoo, conditioner, body soap, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, toilet paper, feminine product, and then we have diapers and wipes.
The pantry now offers drive-through service due to the pandemic. It is open on the third Saturday of every month, including tomorrow from 10 a.m. to noon at Mercy Road Northwest Church off of 96th and Michigan Road. To learn more about Dotted Line Divas, go to theindychannel.com/rebound.
The past few months have been hard on many Hoosiers, and members of IMPD have had to deal with the coronavirus along with the loss of one of their own. Now the department says officers and their families are receiving threats after last week's police shooting. RTV6's Cameron Riddle spoke with the leader of the police union, who says the threats are just a portion of what officers in Indianapolis are seeing every day.
In the past 10 days, IMPD has made national headlines following a night of multiple deadly officer-involved incidents, including the shooting of 21-year-old Drayshawn Reed, which was streamed live on Facebook. Since then, the police department has received 26 threats of violence toward officers.
It's very concerning. I mean, it's not just threats, open, blatant threats of murder toward our officers, but also toward families of police officers.
Police Union President and IMPD Lieutenant Rick Snyder says the 26 threats come on top of the dangers that aren't so blatant. Snyder says there's not a night that goes by when he isn't worried about the violence in our city or the dangers officers run toward.
I'm worried every night. Every night, we fear what happened last month. We fear the tragic loss of an officer. We fear the tragic loss of life of residents and visitors in our community.
Snyder says despite the numerous threats, officers are still responding to violent crimes across the city. A trend Snyder says will only increase this summer and did not slow down during the stay-at-home order.
Everybody's at home. Surely our violence and crime went down. No, it did not. People are astonished when they learn that we had over 50 people shot in Indianapolis in the month of April. Over 50, right? We had a 14% increase in stabbings in the same month.
Snyder points out violence against police officers would only add to the city's problems. He says those who disagree with police can absolutely protest, but says it must be done peacefully.
You can protest the police, and the police will come and surround you and protect you so that you can protest us. That's how firmly we believe in the Constitution that we're sworn to uphold and the individual's rights to do that. But you must do it peacefully.
In Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Well, Snyder is also weighing in on IMPD's decision to issue body cameras to officers. He welcomes the plan and says the police union has been requesting them for more than a year.
At a time just this week where the mayor is calling for this sudden implementation of body-worn cameras, it was the Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police who was the first to call for that technology in our city. In fact, we made that call 475 days prior to this latest announcement from the mayor.
Mayor Hogsett announced Tuesday that IMPD will deploy body cameras this summer. The department is also creating a new use of force policy and review board that will include civilians.
She was 7 years old during the 1918 flu pandemic, and she survived it.
Now a 108-year-old New Jersey woman has survived COVID-19, and she is not alone. Next, inspiring stories of men and women in their 100s who beat the odds by beating the coronavirus.
Working together, working for you.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
More than 300,000 people around the world had died from COVID-19, but it's also important to note that more than 1.6 million patients have recovered. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports that includes men and women who have lived through more than 100 years of history and counting.
Small celebrations.
Hello, everybody.
Were some very big victories against this pandemic. Catherine Krause beating COVID-19 at 102 years old, wheeled out of this specialized unit in Wisconsin. In New Jersey, a big smile from 108-year-old Sylvia Goldschul, who's also recovered.
How is this for an inspiration? She was 7 years old during the 1918 flu pandemic, and she survived it. Last month, Sylvia tested positive for COVID-19, and now we can say she has beaten that.
Edith D'Angelo beat the virus too. While she's in quarantine in this senior home in Pennsylvania, firefighters helping her family mark the 101-year-old's birthday and recovery.
She's just always been a fighter, one of the strongest women I know.
In Missouri, Marine veteran Max DeWest, who's counting down the days till he's 100 years old, getting a well-deserved salute. The Purple Heart recipient marching out of this rehab facility after winning this battle against COVID-19.
I've gone through hell more than once. and this came almost as close.
And one of the oldest known survivors of the pandemic has quite a story, too. Maria Brañas up and walking at this nursing home in Spain after overcoming the virus at 113 years old. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Wow, that is great to see and so inspiring and encouraging to see these people making it through and celebrating big milestones there. Let's get your Storm Team 6 forecast. Kyle's here now with a look at what is shaping up to be a very warm spring night. Kyle.
Yeah, for a change, Mark. It has been a cool month of May. We've turned the corner, though, here, at least for the short term. And tonight, with those clouds around the area, temperatures are still in the 60s. A beautiful night across central Indiana. That humidity is coming down a little bit. We noticed that this afternoon. It's 65 in Indy, 63 for you in the Bloomington area, and tonight we'll find those temperatures leveling off right around the 60-degree mark. Call for an official low of 59 in Indianapolis. And again, I think it's going to be dry tonight. Can't say that for the entirety of the weekend, though. On Saturday, chance for some showers and storms. 78 will be the high, so we are going to keep the warmth around. 77 for the high temperature on Sunday. So as we break down your Saturday forecast here, first half of the day really looking pretty good. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds out there. Temperatures in the 60s and even to 72 degrees already by 11 o'clock in the morning. As we get into the afternoon, though, there's about that 30% chance of a passing shower or storm, and that'll hold our temperatures in the middle to upper 70s. Still, though, I think a couple of spots we could squeak out an 80-degree reading, like around Terre Haute. 78 for you in Bloomington and Peru, and 79 degrees in the Muncie area. Here's a look at TrueCast. 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. You see very isolated, very spotty showers out there, and we'll see a few more of those as we go into the evening, and especially tomorrow night. That's when we start to see a little more widespread rain. This is midnight tomorrow night, and as we go into Sunday morning, that wave of rain will lift off to the north, and I think we'll have some dry time on Sunday, just maybe not as much as we look at the forecast here. So don't be deterred by all the thunderstorm symbols there. Temperatures will again be warm as we make it into the 70s. Here's a look at TrueCast. Middle of the day on Sunday, more cloud cover is going to be around, and we could have a couple of stronger thunderstorms, but notice this is 9 o'clock on Sunday night. That's when we start to see some more of that thunderstorm activity overspreading the western portion of the state, then becoming a little more widespread and lasting into our Monday morning with the actual front going through the area. On Sunday, the entire state, we've got that marginal or very low risk that some of the storms could have some gusty winds with them. 7-day planning forecast, once that system moves through, there's the shot of cooler air. We'll only get into the lower 60s with cloudy skies on Monday, a few of those morning showers. Looks like the 60s will stick around here for a couple of days. Highs there 68 on Wednesday before those numbers moderate a bit. We're back in the 70s to end the week.
Thanks, Kyle. LaPeep locations in Marion County cannot open their dining rooms yet. While that may be tough on business, it's not stopping those restaurants from working together to serve the community. Today, the locally owned LaPeep in downtown Indianapolis served hundreds of meals to people in need.
We're giving away 700 meals to needy Hoosier families around the downtown area. A lot of people need help right now. So, we have it and might as well give the product to people that really need help.
LaPeep locations in Marion County are open for carryout and delivery. Dining rooms are open at the Carmel, West Carmel, and Whitestown restaurants. And a Johnson County restaurant is also opening its doors to customers again. Our Brad Brown shows why dining inside the Willard is so special.
History hangs in every corner of the Willard restaurant in downtown Franklin.
A lot of people come to see the whole building, and the fact that we have great food, is another reason to get people in here. But the building itself is kind of what people come to see.
For 160 years, the house has stood strong on this corner of Main Street, a hotel in a former life. You can still see the decades of old charm all around. It has grown over the years into one of Franklin's most beloved restaurants.
We're completely in debt to our customers in the community. When we let them know that we're going to stay open, and give them our famous pizza and our wings and our bread tenderloins, they answered the call and started calling us.
As the tables inside have had to sit empty over the past couple of weeks, the Willard crew has taken its menu favorites to the carryout curb.
All right, I'll go check out for you.
Mainly sandwiches, salads, pizza, and wings. It's been an adjustment for everyone, but it's been easier than we thought it would be at the beginning, just because the customers in our community have been understanding that we're trying to figure this out as we go.
The Willard spot next to the historic Art Craft Theater makes for quite a taste of the past in Franklin.
I've worked here since I was in high school, so I've definitely seen generations of people, whether or not they've worked here with us or they've just been customers. But yeah, definitely seen a lot of different generations over the years. It feels great knowing that people are excited to see familiar faces, you know, whether it's your bartender or your waitress or just anybody. But I hear it all the time that they're really excited to see us as much as we're excited to see them.
Working for you in Johnson County, Brad Brown, RTV6.
It's been about 2 months since an NBA player tested positive for COVID-19, leading the sports world to press pause. Next, where each league stands when it comes to returning to the court, field, or track.
I'm Dave First. It's called the RTV6 Senior Salute as we continue to honor the outgoing spring sport athletes. We head to Bloomington North, where sliding into home is Xavier Trueblood, an outstanding three-sport athlete ready to wrap up his run with baseball season. A ton of all-area and all-conference awards, as well as academic all-conference honors. He's headed to IU in the fall, where he's a preferred walk-on for the football team. Good luck, Xavier. I'm Dave First with another RTV6 Senior Salute.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
As sports leagues weigh how to safely hold events as the pandemic continues, some are planning to return in the next few days. ABC's Zachary Keish has the latest on the delicate debate over safety and profits.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says sports are open for business in the state.
It's an important part of people's lives, so we want to be able to do that.
As safety contingencies for sports leagues continue in the U.S., professional soccer in Germany and baseball leagues in Taiwan and South Korea may serve as a model of things to come. In L.A., Dodger Stadium sits empty as Major League Baseball and its players try to come up with an agreement. Overnight, Commissioner Rob Manfred telling CNN he hopes they can strike a deal.
I have great confidence that we'll reach an agreement with the Players Association that it's safe to come back to work.
Tampa Bay Rays ace pitcher Blake Snell says he's not interested in playing for half his salary.
Y'all gotta understand, man, for me to take a pay cut is not happening because the risk is through the roof.
NASCAR will be back on the track Sunday at the Darlington Speedway in South Carolina, the first of 7 races over 11 days. Fans will not be there. Star driver Kurt Busch says it won't be the same.
It'll be disappointing that we won't have our fans there live at the racetrack.
Some NBA practice facilities are beginning to open, but this season's future is still unclear.
I have a team that I think has an incredible chance to win. And so you want to play it. You want to finish the season. You want to crown a champion.
There will be some exhibition golf before the PGA returns June 11th. But all the hype is around the charity match between partners Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning against Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady next weekend. It's still unknown if Major League Baseball or the NBA will be able to come up with a plan that's both safe and financially appealing to play this summer. Zachary Keish, ABC News, New York.
TheIndyChannel.com/rebound.
Lots of dry time this weekend, but we will have some storms, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours, with temperatures in the 70s. A little cooler heading into next week. Those highs in the lower 60s Monday, but we'll recover back into the 70s as we get toward Thursday and Friday. And again, much of next week looks like it will be fairly dry.
Thank you, Kyle, and thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news on this Friday night. We all hope that you have a safe weekend. Good night.